U.S. stocks continued to trade near session lows on Tuesday, this amid growing concerns about the European debt crisis, combined with mostly weak earnings as well as a larger than expected drop in U.S. consumer confidence figures. Now, first we begin in Europe, and the results were far from optimistic. This as reports began to surface that the EU finance ministers will not meet before tomorrow's EU summit, therefore renewing concerns that a debt plan agreement may not be reached tomorrow. Meanwhile, in the U.S., economic data did not help out any of the matters. This as consumer confidence plunged to its lowest level since March 2009, coming in at a reading of 39.8 from 46.3. At the same time, weak earnings from 3M, a surge in crude oil prices to trade just under $95 a barrel, all led the way to push the Dow Jones in the red for the first time this week. Taking a look to see how the Dow Jones closed out today's trading session, the Dow well on the downside, 207 points even, to settle in at 11,706.62. Now, in a breakdown of today's major market movers, we first begin with shares of 3M, which helped to push the Dow well into the red. This after missing its expectations, its earnings expectations that is, and lowering its outlook for the next quarter. Meanwhile, shares of Netflix tanking 35% intraday, touching near 18-month lows. This after losing more customers than expected, according to its earnings report following yesterday's closing bell. Shares of MF Global today also plunging 46%. This after posting an unexpected loss on volatility as well as higher cost. And First Solar on the downside today, 25%. This after the announcement of the resignation of its CEO. And just after today's closing bell, Amazon had its earnings, and they were less than impressive, coming in at earnings per share of 14 cents. That's short of expectations calling for 24 cents. And its revenue figures also on the downside, coming in at $10.88 billion. Expectations were calling for $10.95 billion.